What's going on, YouTube? You guys are watching Boxing Talk with Shaka Waka, man. What's going on with everybody? Yo, 2020 is coming to a close, and I finally have finished my pound for pound list, my top 10. So I'm gonna share that with you guys today. But before I get into that, I want to say thank you to everybody who comes and likes and comments on my videos. Shout out to all my subscribers, and shout out to the whole LDBC, man. Y'all are the real ones. Now let's go ahead and get into this list, man. Now, forewarning, I definitely am not going to have everybody on the list that people think are deserving to be on this list. This is my opinion, and I'm going based off of what the pound for pound list was started from Sugar Ray Leonard. He was hypothetically in a hypothetical situation. If he was in the heavyweight division, will he be able to beat the heavyweight champion in the world? That's where the pound for pound came from. So that's what I'm going off of. There will not be any heavyweights in this list. So just get that out your mind. You guys let me know what you guys think of the list in the comment section, and leave your own 10 pound for pound list. Now, the first person I got at number 10 is Shawn Porter. Now, Shawn Porter is a tough motherfucker. And like I said, I'm going off of the originality of the pound for pound. And if you put Shawn Porter in any weight class, he gives anybody a hard fight. Just by the way of how he fights alone, he gives anybody a tough fight. All the fights he has lost, he gave the other fighter everything they could freaking take. The guy is a tough competitor, and I think he deserves to be on the pound for pound list because the way he loses his fights is never a wash. He's never outclassed. He's just, the person has to get a little bit of more of those cleaner shots in, and it's very, very close. He's always had close losses. So that's why he's number 10 on my pound for pound. Now, next up at number 9, I have Jermall Charlo. Jermall Charlo is a different case because you can see his skills. You can see the power he has. He just has not been able to get the opportunity to fight, Triple G and Canelo, which will put him better cemented on his list. That's why I have him at number 9, based on his skills alone, because he's been fighting a lot of people that are boxers, and he's just been outclassing the shit out of them. Like, he's fought Sergey Derevyanchenko, who gave Triple G a hard fight. The Korobov guy, who he wasn't even planning to fight, he got him in like short notice to fight that guy, who's a tricky veteran, and he classed that dude. Who's the other guy? I can't remember the black guy's name, but that dude was just there to survive, and Jermall Charlo pulled it off. So he's very well rounded, and the fact that he can outbox and outboxer the whole 12 rounds shows that he's very disciplined. And then we all know that he has the power when he put Julian Jackson, I keep saying Julian Jackson, Julian Williams on his ass with a jab. The power is there, and then he ultimately got him out with that uppercut, which was beautiful, man. The uppercut on Jermall Charlo is beautiful. He has the power, he has the skill, and I think in any weight class, he gives any of the top champions a hard time. So, next up, at number 8, might be a little controversial. I got Keith Thurman on here because Keith Thurman is a good boxer, man. Decent power. And he was the guy to beat before anybody, like any Terrence Crawford or Earl Spence Jr. He was the one everybody was chasing. He beat Shawn Porter. He beat Danny Garcia. But then he's lower on this list because he lost to Manny Pacquiao, which is, I say he had no business losing to Manny Pacquiao. Like, come on, he had no business being a young guy in there with Manny Pacquiao. He should have showed out on his ass. Even though it was a close fight, he still got knocked down in that first round, which was like, yeah, Keith Thurman is not ready. But I think he could turn his shit back around if he gets back in there and tries to go off of their Terrence Crawford, Earl Spence, or Ugas or something like that. But the dude's skills are there, and he does have the power. So I think he deserves to be on this list. Next one, another controversial one, I have Clarissa Shields. And that's just because over there in women's boxing, she's fucking dominating. I don't care. They keep saying about that Katie girl. Like, no. Katie lost her last fight. whatever that fight against that damn, was she Ukrainian or something like that. That was a good fight, but I definitely thought Katie lost. But Clarissa Shields, whoever she's in the ring with, she's absolutely demolished them. She stunts on them. The Hannah Gabriel fight, she got knocked down and got back up and whooped Gabriel's ass. It was not after that knockdown. Clarissa Shields showed that she had a different gear, and she dominated the rest of that fight. It was beautiful. She's been undisputed in her weight class, and she's the only one over there that is trying to get women's boxing to bring more money in, bring more awareness to women's boxing, because she's exciting. She talks her shit, and she's also classy at the same time, and I just love her personality. But skill wise, she definitely deserves to be on this list also. At number 6, I have Teofimo Lopez. Now, Teofimo Lopez is on here because he did impress me. First, he did impress me with that Richard Comey knockout. The power on Teofimo is real, is believable. And also when he fought Lomachenko, because I had Lomachenko winning. I did not believe in Teofimo at all. I thought he wasn't mentally tough to do it. I didn't think he was going to be able to box with Lomachenko all 12 rounds, and that's exactly what he did. He showed discipline. He showed his boxing IQ. He showed how athletic he was by being able to get out of the way when Lomachenko put those angles, and the footwork and the speed, whatever the fuck they be talking about Lomachenko. He absolutely stunned on this man, and I think he deserves to be on this list of how people were ranting and raving saying Lomachenko was number 1 pound for pound over Terrence Crawford and Earl Spence Jr. and everybody else who has 20 plus fights. You know what I'm saying? So Teofimo Lopez deserves to be on this list, and I got him on here. All right, number 5, I have Gary Russell Jr. Gary Russell Jr. is very smart in the ring. Very, very, very fast hands. Anybody he gets in the ring with, he absolutely stunts on. The only loss he has to is Lomachenko. And the fight was closer than what everybody's saying. That, people make you believe, the announcers of that fight make you believe that Lomachenko was just out, dominating Gary Russell Jr. That was not the case. They just highlighted what Lomachenko did and didn't say anything about Gary Russell Jr., which is usually the case in these boxing matches. But Gary Russell Jr., longest reigning champion next to Deontay Wilder, and he's another case with Jermall Charlo. He just hasn't gotten the recognition that he deserves because other people won't fight him, and he deserves to be on this list based on his skill alone. So I got him at number 5. Now next up, at number 4, I got Gervonta Tank Davis. This kid, it's like a love and hate relationship with Gervonta Tank Davis, because he reminds me of little Adrian Broner, but way better skilled. I think he's way better, especially with the power aspect, and he's not afraid to let his hands go. But I think that came with Adrian Broner when he lost to Maidana. After that, he was just afraid to let his hands go. That could happen with Gervonta, but I don't see him losing anytime soon, because he's very confident and his power is absolutely real. The kid's power is real. Now, I was a little disappointed that he didn't knock out Gamboa earlier, but that was another case like with Teofimo Lopez fighting Lomachenko. He's fighting a veteran that knows all the tricks of the trades, knows how to not get knocked out, and that's what Gamboa did in that fight. Tank Davis has knocked out plenty of people in his damn way. He has over 90% of his knockout rate. He's right under Deontay Wilder with that, or right neck and neck with him. The power on this guy is real. He has good skills in the ring, very athletic, and he gives anybody an issue. If he was bigger, he'll give anybody an issue, and I got him up here at number 4. Now, number 3, I guess I didn't really have a hard time choosing between him. I was going to switch him and Gervonta, but I got Jermell at number 3, Jermell Charlo. I feel like Jermell Charlo needs to be on this list. He needs to be more recognized just like his brother, but he has accomplished more than his brother, which has him higher on the list. He is unified. He has fought the people that he needed to fight. He has redeemed himself when he fought Tony Harrison. We seen in the first fight that he didn't really know what to do. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to get the guy out of there. But then in the second fight, he came and redeemed himself. And I was proud of him for doing that. He showed his passion in the boxing ring. And his skills is what really has him here. Because like his brother, he has the power and he has the boxing skills. I think his boxing skill is a little bit better than Jermall Charlo's. But it's just the discipline for me. I didn't think he was disciplined as Jermall Charlo, the bigger Charlo, but him in that Tony Harrison fight showed me he can redeem himself and he can come back and get the W. So it was real good to see that. You know, he meant what he said on the come up to that Tony Harrison 2. He was meaning everything that he said, and he showed it in the ring. And that shows me that he's really dedicated to the sport and he can be disciplined. Yeah, and I got him at number 3 because the power. He knocked out Jason Rosario with a jab to the body. Man, the power is real in these Charlo brothers. And like I said, they need more recognition. So yes, I do have Jermell Charlo at number 3. Now, number 2, of course, I have Errol Spence Jr. Now, Errol Spence, he is what everybody wants to see in a boxer. He's fighting the guys that he needs to be fighting, and he's doing it in his weight class. He's fighting his mandatories. He's doing it, but I really got him based on his skills alone. The most thing I like about Errol Spence Jr. is his relentlessness. You know, if he's getting outboxed, he's not going to quit. He's not going to stop. He's going to come at you harder. Now, if he fights anybody in any weight class, that may get him the W. It's just like Sean Porter. Like, Sean Porter doesn't stop. You know, he keeps coming. But the difference between him and Sean Porter, Errol Spence has a little bit of a different angle. Like, he can box on the outside, and then come forward if that's not working, or come forward and then switch to boxing on the outside if the come forward is not working. But he usually outpowers his opponents like he did Kell Brook. And like I said, he'll give anybody in any weight class some fucking problems, issues, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's been talks about him fighting Canelo, and that's a good ass fight because of the way they both fight. You know, Errol Spence Jr. is not gonna fight like a Floyd Mayweather and bounce all around the ring. But even in that Mayweather fight, Floyd Mayweather stayed right in front of Canelo, and he beat him. He beat him round 1 to 12. So I could definitely see that happen with Errol Spence Jr. So I have him at number 2. And then, of course, at number 1, I have Terrence Crawford. This should not be a surprise. The dude has become undisputed, jumped up 3 weight classes. He has done a lot for boxing. And now it's just a waiting game on who he's about to fight in the welterweight division. But skill-wise, I think he is the best. His brain in the ring is unmatched. Nobody can match this guy's brain in the boxing. It's like you could see him calculating, and then on top of that, he has the athleticism, and he has the boxing skill, and he has the fighting skill, because he'll bang it out with you also. This guy's a well-rounded fighter, and I think nobody can fuck with him. Honestly, I think nobody can fuck with him. He has made some very poor financial decisions, which is not any of my fucking business. But the boxing, I believe nobody can fuck with him. I feel like he can match anybody at their skill and do it better. That's how I feel. And that's what I've seen from his whole career. I've seen it from him his whole career. If you want to bang it out with him, he'll bang it out with you and do it better. If you want to box with him, he'll box it out with you and do it better. You want to wrestle in the ring, he'll wrestle with you and do it better. That's all I've seen from Terrence Crawford, is him go above his opponents. Now, this is why people want to see him fight better top competition in the welterweight division, because they want to see, can he do that with those top welterweights? And I want to see it too. He needs to be fighting Earl Spence Jr., Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, somebody like that, so we can know this guy is the real deal at welterweight. When he knocked out Kell Brook, I thought that was going to, give a little bit more validation for Terrence Crawford, but of course that's not enough. People want to see more. They say it was a washed up Kell Brook, but everybody was picking Kell Brook before the fight. You know what I'm saying? So Terrence Crawford can't win for losing, but if he wants to remain great, he gonna have to do great things. So he's gonna have to fight these guys if he wants to be recognized as the pound for pound still. What he did down at 140 was great, but you're at a new division now. It's time for new goals. Now let's do it. But anyway, guys, this was my top 10 pound for pound. I'll go through it again. Number 10, Sean Porter. 9, Jamal Charlo. 8, Keith Thurman. 7, Clarissa Shields. 6, Teofimo Lopez. 5, Gary Russell Jr. 4, Gervonta Tank Davis. 3, Jermell Charlo. 2, Earl Spence Jr. and 1, Terrence Crawford. Now, if y'all notice anything about my list, I do not have a fucking Canelo on here. I do not have Triple G. I don't have Lomachenko. I don't have no goddamn Inoue. I don't have any of those guys simply because I feel like Triple G, he hasn't done enough. He lost to Canelo twice I thought he won, but on paper, he has lost to Canelo. And Canelo's a cheater. You know what I'm saying? Canelo's a straight cheater. I'm not putting no cheaters on my list. Lomachenko, overhyped. He's not going on my list. And anyway, I really don't know too much about him, so I can't really judge. I just don't know enough about him. If he's really that good, he should fight Gary Russell Jr. That's it. But anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think of my list. Show me your 10 pound for pound list in the comment section. And with that, you guys, I'm out. Peace.